I buried my uncle today. 6 months ago, I buried my father. Next week, I'm going to be going to a memorial service for a dear teacher and mentor of mine. Several months ago, I had to have major surgery for my son, who had everything from a problem with his eyes to a problem with his skull. And he's still going through therapy now to get him up to speed. I almost lost the first house that I ever purchased. I've lost friends in combat. I've had friends get wounded. So you'll forgive me if I don't get all that phased out by the complaints of the people in the YouTube space when something doesn't go their way, when you don't get your way, when things get hard, when obstacles and barriers are set up in front of you. You'll forgive me if I don't show the same level of empathy and sympathy for you that I would for the family of my lost friends. I held my aunt's hand today as she watched her little baby brother get buried. Tried to hold back tears when my father was buried in Arlington Cemetery. So you'll forgive me if, when I'm working with YouTubers and I'm watching what you talk about online, you'll forgive me if I don't feel sorry for you because you don't meet YouTube's new standards. You'll forgive me if I don't seem all that kind in the way I tell you to stop whining, stop bitching, get your ass up, dust off, and get to work. You'll forgive me if I'm not going to make a rant about how YouTube is screwing us out of money. I don't even monetize my channel. And frankly, if you do, I'm not going to make assumptions or stereotypes about people, but if you really believed you were going to come on YouTube and earn a living, that is famine mentality. And for all the people who were earning a living up to this point and now they're getting hurt, guess what? You've had hundreds, if not thousands of years of economics to show you that if you put all of your eggs in one basket, you were going to fail. Too stupid to realize that I'm live streaming. Can any of you name the company? There's only one, by the way, that's still in business today that was in business at the start of the stock exchange. I'll go ahead and tell you. It's General Electric, GE. Want to know why they're still around? Innovation. They didn't put all their eggs in one basket. They didn't complain when the rules changed. I know a friend who, after being shot literally in the face, continued to try to help his brothers on the battlefield who had had bad landings when they hit an LZ that was hot. If you don't know what an LZ is, it's a landing zone. And as a combat medic, he was doing his job to help his friends, even though he had been shot in the face. And by the way, he was so busy trying to help other people that he did not realize he had been shot in the face. So you'll forgive me when I see people overcome tremendous adversity. When I hear friends of mine like JD who send me emails and say they've just overcome brain cancer. I watched my mother overcome breast cancer. I have friends that have had to bury children. So you'll forgive me if a policy changed, cut your revenue that you probably weren't making much of anyway. That you didn't take the responsibility to step your game up and to diversify the way that you earn your income. That you didn't get married and romantic about a system that is in it for itself. Well, YouTube's all about the money. They're in it for themselves, yo. They don't care about us anymore. What planet have you been living on? What everybody gets a trophy universe have you been living in this whole time? That you thought YouTube's existence was about making your life better. YouTube is a tool, friends. I don't even like using the word YouTuber. First of all, I think it's corny. Two, it implies that your identity is somehow tied to an effing platform. Give me a break. And by the way, I'm not mad at YouTube. They're not cutting into my money. Guess what? I don't make any money off of YouTube. Now, I make money because of YouTube. You understand the difference? I make money because of what I do on YouTube, not dependent upon YouTube. And by the way, I do empathize with those of you who are still learning, still young, still trying to figure out how do I use this platform to better my life. But you know why I have such a lack of empathy and sympathy for every person I've heard whining about the platform? You know why? Because it means that you have been focused on the wrong thing. You've been focused on you and what you can get out of the platform. Every person that I've worked with that complains about their growth, to a person, the growth is not YouTube's fault. And I'm sorry that if my delivery style is not quite as friendly and huggy and high-fivey as some of the other people out on YouTube, but sometimes you guys need a kick in the ass to get busy and do work. And it's not gonna come when it's the nice guy on the camera, okay? Every person, to a person that I'm watching complain about taking L's is because they've been overly focused on themselves. Everyone, every person, whether I work with them or I'm just observing it. Oh, they're punishing us, but they're not punishing Logan Paul. Why is that any care of yours? And by the way, this is going to end on a positive note, believe it or not. What I'm here to tell you is that small YouTubers, big YouTubers, I don't care. You are finished if you don't get your mind right. You're focusing on platform changes, being romantic about what YouTube used to be when my channel was growing. It's not that anymore. Adjust, adapt, overcome. You're focusing on the problem. You're focusing on what you don't have. You're focusing on what you lack. You're focusing on, why don't people pay attention to my channel? Instead of focusing on what you can give and being grateful for what you do have. I had a girl email me last week, distraught because it took her a couple of months to get 100 subscribers, not realizing, and by the way, I took her through the same exercise. Hello, family. How you doing? I took her through the same exercise. I said, do you realize that you have 100 subscribers? And you're going to have a baby crying on this video, so you're just going to have to deal with it. Hey, man. Hey, do you not see YouTubers going on while they're crying? He's fine. Don't worry. He's a baby. That's what he's supposed to do. He's going to add flavor to the video. Don't be upset, buddy. I'm here with you, and I love you, okay? I'm just trying to kick a few people, and yeah, okay, you're nodding your head. You get it. He's not complaining. So she emails me. She's like, I'm so distraught. I've been working so hard to get these 100 subscribers. What do I do? Why am I not growing? And I said, do you realize you have 100 more subscribers than most of the people that watch YouTube? Do you understand how hard it is for people to get to 100 subscribers? How much work it takes, how much selflessness it takes. Because you're looking at people that have 50 million or 100,000 or 20-some thousand. And you're thinking, oh my God, that's such a big number. But you're not thankful for the fact that 100 human beings thought enough of you to give you their attention. Do you know how hard it was just 100 years ago to get 100 people to pay attention to you? It's never been easier. But when you're so, and I told her, I said, listen, I believe you have what it takes to win, just like anybody else that I work with. But if you start focusing on what you don't have, you're going to start making short-term bad decisions, which may get you a little bit of growth here, may get you a little of attention there. But in the long term, it's not going to get you where you want to go. You're ultimately going to come up short. But if you play this game like a marathon, you've heard Gary Vee talk about this a lot, and he's right. If you play this game like someone who plans to be in it for a long time, you'll make the right decisions that may take you a little bit longer to get where you want to go, but you'll get there the right way. You know, I was just telling some of the people that I work with, I know or have heard of people, I don't know them personally, but I know of people that have 400 subscribers that make $250,000 a year because they have the right 400 subscribers. And we're so focused on ourselves. And by the way, it's not all your fault. Some of it's your environment, okay? We've been taught to have this famine mentality. in the way we approach our lives, instead of realizing there's literally over 1 billion people on this platform. And if we would just do something with the mindset to serve other people and to give to other people, and if we do it long enough, eventually people will start to catch. And if we do it good enough, that's the other problem, is I think some people show up and they think that because they turned the camera on and talked for a couple minutes, that people should pay attention to that. And then they start to get mad, well, what, the audience doesn't get my art, or the audience doesn't get what I'm saying. No, no. You just haven't given enough. You haven't given good enough. You haven't given enough long enough. You haven't given good enough long enough. And now, granted, sure, there's strategies and tactics you need to understand about the platform, but what it really comes down to is, did you make something dope today? Did you make something dope today? Did you make something that you were proud to show to your entire family? Right? Are you proud of your content? And I don't mean in a, oh, I'm proud that I made something, but would you spend hours on end watching your content? How many of you do that? And so if you want to win and you don't, and by the way, small YouTubers aren't finished because of this new policy and it's going to take privileges away from you. I'm astounded at how easy it is to get people into a negative mindset, into a negative state of, oh my God, they changed the policies. This means we're finished, really? But because, there's an old proverb that says, if you faint in the day of adversity, your strength is small. You're in a day of adversity. Are you seriously going to quit because it got hard? Because the thing I think you don't realize is that if it got hard for you, that means it got harder for everybody else too. And now if you're good enough, YouTube's putting you in a position where other people won't compete with you because they're not willing to go through the work. My son agrees. He's playing a song to back me up. Thank you, buddy. Is that Daniel Tiger? Yeah? You like that song? I'll be done in a second, bro, and then you can go to sleep. So, friends, you'll forgive me if my tone is not so touchy-feely and warm tonight, because, frankly, somebody's got to be the big brother of the internet and tell you guys that if you want to win, you're going to have the right mindset. Okay. Can we give Daniel Tiger a break? I don't think the audience wants to keep hearing him. Or maybe they do. Maybe he's more interesting tonight than I am. But let me leave you on a positive note. I'm not going to sugarcoat this, and I'm not going to blow smoke at you. The bottom line is, you got to do the work. You have to be willing to deal with adversity. You have to be willing to be adaptable. Dr. Mangelsson, talking about Darwin once upon a time, said that it's not the strongest or the smartest who survive, it's the most adaptable, right? I mean, do you think, what if Michael Jordan, after he was cut his sophomore year from playing basketball, was just like, oh, screw the basketball team. They don't get how good I really am. And they're creating obstacles for me, and I'm supposed to be an NBA player. No, he said, good, I'm glad they cut me, because now it gave me an opportunity to get better, right? When he came, by the way, he wasn't finished getting criticized. By the time he made it to the NBA after playing at UNC, his coaches told him, your jump shot sucks. He's like, okay, cool. I'll make 1,000 jump shots a day. Problem solved. Next thing you know, he's the best basketball player that ever lived. Funny that. Obstacles came his way, and instead of complaining about them, he turned them into an opportunity for him to win. So which person are you? I mean, there's really two types of people. And I find this too when there's people who want me to coach them. The ones who actually allow me to help them and coach them are people that usually have the mindset to win. And by the way, we all get negative sometimes. Sometimes we get in the wrong space. That's cool. I'm here to bust you out of that. All right. Sometimes I get negative too. I'm not talking to you as if I'm better than you are, or talking from some high horse. I've been that way too. Well, my point is, I'm trying to disrupt the pattern. This, every time YouTube does a thing we don't like, we got to fuss about it. Stop fussing about it. Stop making blogs and freaking Facebook posts about YouTube's all about the money. Okay, so are you, because that's the part you're fussing about. Not a single person was fussing like, this great content that I'm making is helping children starving in Africa, and YouTube's going to stop me from reaching them. It's all YouTube's taking my money. So you're not so much not about the money yourself, if that's your complaint. By the way, I don't have a problem if you're about the money. I'm just saying, keep your mind in the right place. Instead of focusing on the obstacle, something that's going to stop you, make the obstacle the reason why you're going to win. Like, oh, YouTube's going to take my ability to put thumbnails on my pictures, then I'm going to make the most awesome faces when I'm filming so that YouTube's automated thumbnail system catches that face. And I'll make it into a game, like have the audience vote which face that I made in this video and get an awkward one, get a funny one, get a crazy one. I mean, you guys got to start, you can't fall apart every time some adversity comes at you. Like the last 2 years of my life have been interesting, to say the least, with, you know, losing family members, worrying about a son that needs major surgery. Like, if I just said, oh, I quit, I'm going to quit being a dad now because it's too hard, give me a break. I think America needs a nap, and it needs to man up and woman up. All right? So you are finished if every time some little change sends you off the rails. And by the way, this isn't just about YouTube. You can apply this to any area of your life where you come against opposition. The opposition is there to make you better, to make you grow into the person that deserves what you want. Never forget that. The reason for obstacles and opposition, in my opinion, in my belief system, God allows these obstacles to come to grow you into the person that deserves what you pray for. It's as simple as that. So which type of person are you going to be? The person who every time a small obstacle comes up, we're going to fuss and whine about it. And we're going to create, how many YouTube videos are on YouTube now? I did a search for this. Yeah, I mean, just hundreds of people whining and crying. And some of them are doing it for views. That's fine. I'm against that. They want to get their views, right? Hundreds of people. And then there's a couple people say, this is actually a good thing. I'm in the good thing camp. Or you're the person who says, you know what, this new obstacle is going to give me an opportunity to get better, an opportunity to refine my skills. And by the way, an opportunity to actually meet the requirements YouTube has, which by the way is part of your goals. So just get better. I love you guys. Thanks for watching. I'll see you tomorrow.